Hello and welcome to Primo Trades. My name is Stephen Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. And in these brief educational presentations, I share with you different techniques, tips, and strategies that I've accumulated in my 45 years of trading, and then show you how easy it is to become a consistent trader by simply applying them on our PTS Primo charting platform. Now, in today's educational video, I'm going to reveal a brand new indicator that's designed to identify short-term price turning points. But first, let me share with you today's theme, and that's this. It's only when the markets are perceived to have exhausted themselves that they decide to turn. See, most traders think that, well, if we're overbought or oversold, that's when the market turns. Or when we hit some type of support or resistance, that's when the market turns. But it's really when they've exhausted themselves, either to the upside or to the downside, that they decide to turn. The only trouble is, how do we know when that happens? Well, that's why I've spent the last year or so developing this with Pro Trader Strategies, and that's the new Primo Oscillator. This is the new tool I want to talk to you today about because it really has shown some phenomenal results in just the short time that we've been researching and backtesting it. Now, let's start out with a standard oscillator definition. Now, most standard oscillators measure the amount that a security's price has changed over a given period of time. That's how they come up with their plotting, or that's how they come up with their display. Here's where the Primo Oscillator is different. The Primo Oscillator measures the amount that a security's price pattern has changed over a given period of time. You see, most oscillators are looking for a set price at the close of the period to determine where that plot will be on the oscillator. But where the Primo Oscillator differentiates from that is that we're looking for a specific pattern at the close of a bar and measuring that over a given period of time. So this is how it's different. And let me share with you some examples, because the only place you will find the Primo Oscillator is on the PTS Primo charting platform. This is the educational platform that really teaches traders how to trade. So let me toggle over here now and let's look at a chart of the oscillator actually in action. Here is the GSPC, that's the S&P 500 index, okay? And the oscillator is plotted below. Now, this is just one of the numerous ways in which to apply this. In the course I'll be teaching, we actually have 4 or 5 different ways to trade with the oscillator. But let me just share with you one of the simplest and easiest ways. Okay, as we see here, looking back, coming into December, we have the oscillator plotted here with the histogram, and here is our threshold right here. Now, when price of the oscillator closes above that threshold, oftentimes that's telling us that there's going to be some short-term price turning point, that the market we're currently viewing has exhausted itself to some capacity. Now, that was on the 30th of November, which closed right here. So what traders could do using this tool, if you were long at that point, you could say, well, maybe the market is a little exhausted. It's time to exit or to raise my stop. If you were a little bit more aggressive, what you could have done is sold on the opening of the next day, because you would have found this out at the close of that trading day. And look what happened to the market. The market fell hundreds, if not thousands of points. Now, coming into December, on the 12th of December, the oscillator did that once again, closed above the upper threshold. Now, as we see right here, that was corresponding to this day, the 12th of December. So that would have been given available to you at the close of the day. So what you could have done on the next day, if you were so inclined, would be to sell your position or to go short on the opening of the next day, or just to have a negative view of the markets. They've exhausted themselves. Could have sold on the opening of this day, the 13th, and look what has happened in the markets. We've all seen the markets fall out of bed. Now, I know everyone says, well, sure, Steve, that's because news that's come out about inflation or whatever. Well, it's funny how the oscillator was determining this days in advance of news events that came out. That's how fine-tuned the oscillator is, and that's how well it can really help you. Now, we can apply this to other issues, to other time frames, as we look at a chart here of Apple. This is an hourly chart of Apple, okay? Now, this same process can work to the opposite side. Here is the lower threshold of the Primo Oscillator. Now, when price closes below the lower threshold, that's telling you that most likely it's exhausted itself and that a short-term price turning point is about to happen. Now, since the price had been going lower, it's obvious that the price turning point means that it most likely would head up to the upside. So look what happened on the very next bar here. Price pretty much stabilized for the next 3 or 4 bars, but then ultimately we gapped up roughly about 7 or 8 points. So it doesn't matter what market, it doesn't matter what time frame. You can apply the Primo Oscillator to all of these different variables and see some really great results. Okay, it's extremely consistent. And as I said, in the course that I'll be teaching, we'll go over exactly how to apply it on the PTS Primo charting platform. So as we conclude here, I just want to thank you for watching this short video as we talk about a brand new feature I'm very excited about. If you're interested in learning more about the Primo Oscillator or the PTS Primo charting platform, contact Pro Trader Strategies. They develop all of my strategies and all of our indicators together. You can contact them by, I would say the easiest way is to call them at area code 310-598-6677. Trading consultants will answer any question you may have or take your order over the phone if you're so inclined. Now, as we close and take one last look at our disclaimer, I want to thank you for watching this short educational video. I hope you learned something, but most especially, I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine at Specialist Trading and look forward to watching the next Primo Trades video. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.